to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. First item, approval of the January 2nd business session minutes.
Move to approve.
Hey. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, approval of the bills list.
I have a question. Yeah, what are we still paying Tyler Technologies for?
That's,
for us?
That's our computer software that we use for water bills and all that.
Okay. I didn't know if we moved away from that.
No,
Okay.
no, we still use it for utility billing, water bills, and we use it for codes also, I think.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, public comments.
Nope.
Hearing none. Next up, committee reports. Admin and finance. Overall, December was a good month. We ended up closing that out. Up about 30,000, yeah, about 30,000. So, total of all funds is 1,050,591. But out of that, 560,000 of that is ARPA money. So that is about 500,000 plus all the other balances. General fund is at 70,000. We still got payroll, so that's about 25,000. So we're treading water. We're doing all right. It's not accumulating much, but this will be our first billing cycle with the new sewer rate.
Yep.
That's all we got there.
Have we got all our I's dotted and T's crossed with that ARPA money thing?
Yes, it's been, that last meeting when we approved the contract with Earthworks that secured the money.
And I haven't heard anything else Jackson County wise.
You won't.
I have not yet either.
When will they get the final on that?
Well,
I saw somebody on Facebook on how she was saying that they had till the 15th of January to return his veto, so I don't know.
God bless it, yeah.
Yeah, so. I'm still working on getting the numbers to Troy Schulte before he leaves. For the engineers to do that.
15th?
that was
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't read anything about it, so.
I didn't see anything, so. Guess it'll be pennies from heaven.
That was the override.
Merry
veto?
Christmas.
Yeah. That was override veto? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, like I said, I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, who knows?
Public health and safety.
Stats were down a little bit with all the snow. There's not as many tickets to be written, but we had the 24 summons, 31 reports, 10 warrant arrests, 5 ordinance summons. We took 112 calls and filed 6 more felony cases with Jackson County.
Have you noticed any change? I guess it's the new folks that have taken
That was gonna be my question.
I just wonder if we had noticed any change in their willingness to prosecute.
We don't work directly with the new one in charge anyway, but the people that work for them that we deal with seem a little more eager to do what we want them to do than they did before, so hopefully it stays that way, but who knows? I don't know the one that won, I don't know anything about. I've never met her or anything. So.
Anybody have questions for the chief?
At least we got rid of the one that wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Should be discussed. And then the park board, I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard anything either.
Planning and zoning. Public works.
Yeah.
No,
So
So, snow removal wise, we have no insurance claims, which is a good thing. There's no accidents. We had one, I'd say a handful of complaints, but maybe 3 complaints overall, so.
And I hope you saw it, I forwarded, when I saw my email, and I think the subject was like snow removal or something like that, I was like, uh-oh. But there was some folks up there, I think on Tall Chief, that were very happy with the work that you guys did. They were impressed with the pre-treatment and that they were gonna be able to go to work on Monday, that they didn't think they would have been, but you guys had their street open and that they were very pleased and they wanted to make sure that the folks involved were made aware of that. So I forwarded the email, I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes, we did get that, that's great to hear. All in all, even with as big as it was and as much as we got, I think maybe overall we had between 60 and 65 hours in it, so I mean, we done it in a pretty timely manner, so that was a good thing. Just 2 of us, so Jack done a great job, he really stepped up and helped out, so that I can't complain about that. He figured a rhythm out and stuck with it, so.
Appreciate you turning the blade when you pass driveways.
Yeah, you know.
That was
we-
impressive.
We tried.
Hadn't been doing it in the past, and just,
Yeah,
and
it's,
it doesn't look like much when you're plowing, but it's like
Right.
3 foot when you throw it in somebody's driveway when they
Oh,
plow.
yeah.
Appreciate that, that was
Yeah, it's,
pretty awesome.
It's hard to do it every driveway, you know, but if we get out there and nobody's shoveling, we'll kick it that way. But obviously, if somebody's out there shoveling and working on it, or they've showed that they've already had the driveway cleaned all the way, and we don't have much, you know, it don't hurt to kick it the other way for just a split second, kick it back, that don't hurt nothing.
Right.
You may leave a little windrow out in the road, but that's what you're doing over and smashing out. That's not the end of the world there, so.
I was talking to Joe about this the other day, and I don't think we need to change anything, but I know that one of the mail delivery people said, you know, given the amount of snow we got, if you have a bunch of snow in front of mailboxes, we're not delivering. So,
Right, yeah, we try to go as, that's kind of a good guidance for the road, because you know, when you get so much, you can't see the edge of the roads and your mailboxes, so we try to roll it as close as we can to the mailboxes, and then, you know, obviously the edge of the blade sticks out past a little bit, so if you can run your end of your blade at the mailboxes, it usually pushes it on back past them, so we tried to do that, but like you say, with as much as we got, it just
yeah,
kept
given the
building
amount of
up.
snow we got.
It was pretty rough.
Mayor, I
Yes,
thought
sir.
it was the responsibility of the homeowner that the mailbox is set to clear that off where the mail can be delivered. It's not up to the city, I don't think, to do that.
I think you're right, I shoveled mine.
I don't disagree, but and again, I'm not arguing for this, but if you've got a street that's full of homeless
Same,
people,
it's
you
just like the
can't,
sidewalk.
you know.
What happened to
do
the
that.
old motto? Remember years ago, through rain and sleet and snow?
Yeah, they're not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, she posted on Facebook, if you got snow in front, you're not gonna get your
As I
mail.
said, I don't think it mattered because I didn't get my mail and I had mine shoveled.
That was just an easy excuse for when I have a short day.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, no, we go curb to curb, that's what we try to do. We make 2 passes per road, just to make it to where it's open, and then once we get all the streets done, we go back.
Do you have salt though?
Yeah, we have salt.
Did you put any of that down? Because
We did.
when we had that ice, that would have been a good thing to have.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
ideally,
The way this particular storm
Right.
was, it went to kind of different layers.
It did, and that's kind of what we thought about in the process, but with it having that rain come in first, it would have just washed it away. So I was trying to be a little bit more on the conservative side, rather than wasting money, let's give this beet juice a chance. It kind of really helped. Once we got the salt down and the sun comes out, it eats away at it really quick, so I was like, you know, we have a small layer of snow on top of the ice, everybody's getting around if they need to. It's not like you're, you know, normal day driving, but once you leave that little bit of snow on there and throw the ice or the salt on top of that, it really starts cooking into that stuff because it's kind of held in there with that snow and then the sun, and that's melting and then it activates it a little bit better. So it turned to slush pretty quick, which was a good thing. That really helped us out. I think we got a little lucky on it. So
What's the temperature on that beet juice when it works?
Mine was
negative
22.
22.
If you want anything colder than that, it'll melt down to minus 22.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's got salt lime, and then the beet juice, all it does is it provides traction and it sticks it to the road, but it's also got mixed 70% salt lime and then 20% magnesium calcium.
Gotcha.
Which that's what keeps it from freezing down below.
I
Me
don't
and
think
Kyle
that-
talked,
don't think I've ever seen all the injectors working at one time for years and years.
When me and Kyle talked too, is what we're gonna try next year, and maybe even this year if we went out of salt. The same company we buy beet juice from, they have that same mixture in salt pallets. So it'll come, the salt will have that beet juice mix in it also. So you can obviously pre-cheat with the beet juice and then use the salt, and it should work out better.
It's purple. That salt's purple. You'll see like MoDOT used it. It works a little bit faster than ours. Ours is just like rock salt.
Yeah.
So it does activate a little bit faster.
Well, all in all, given we got a foot of snow, like, hey, you know,
Yeah,
It was a pretty good storm.
Okay.
So we tried for what we got. But we come up with plans after some, running for a while. I kind of got some plans in mind. So I think we'll try to implement those and see how that works out for us. So.
Again, if you need me, I'll plug. If you can't find me, I'll
Yeah, I do appreciate that. We got some stuff in the works, so we'll see how it goes.
Do they have that same worksheet that I gave you?
Yes, yeah, sorry I forgot about that. So that's just showing like, the monthly report, for this, month of December on our meters and our trucks and stuff like that. So, meters, obviously with the temperatures being so low, we didn't work on meters, we're short-staffed. On top of that, with the cold front that's coming in and how it's gonna be cold for like 2 weeks or whatever they're talking, it's gonna be really cold. We're gonna estimate, we're gonna read, and then what ones don't read, we're obviously gonna estimate, which would be the 186 of them. Because every time you open the lid, you're taking a chance of a meter getting cold. You're gonna lose your ground heat, and it's gonna freeze, and then we're gonna have problems everywhere. It's chasing meters around, replacing those and stuff like that, which wouldn't be very efficient at all. I mean, we're just doubling up on what we've already got as a problem shield. So that would be the ultimate goal for this month.
As I was telling Kyle, the goal was to use this each meeting that we get, or each one of these. Is this a study? This is the actual meeting today. That we get one of these, probably each study session, so you can just kind of track over time. As he's saying, the weather doesn't lend itself, but I don't know if you're like I am. It's like we've had these meter problems for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always over. Prosperity's just around the corner.
I know.
And yeah, we fixed 8, but then we got 10 that broke. And so I just wanted a way to kind of put it right in front of us to where you can track what's going on. And then kind of the same with the vehicles that, that we're, right now we have 3 out of 3 trucks in service. Those kind of things just to see, kind of looking at trends, so.
And has the meters, have they gone up? Because I always thought it was like 100 or 112.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
the number that we always heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Was this more probably accurate number?
That would be your most accurate number there. That's your accurate, because that is going to consider, that's wrapping all of them up in one. That's if it doesn't read electronically, if the meter's running backwards, if the meter's not reading at all, batteries are dead, whatever, that is just lumping it all together to show you, that way you don't have 5 or 6 different breakdowns of what's doing what. And when we get the list, I just got a stack of them in there. And the game plan is, once the weather's permitting, we get rolling good. 20 are going out a day. I'm gonna send 20 of them out. 2 guys will be on it. So 2 guys for 20, because one's gotta run the computer to update, activate everything while one's installing. It'll be a little bit faster that way. And you can make sure your numbers are getting notated to the correct address, because that's also an issue that we've found out recently, that a lot of the numbers were inputted in the data, and it's reading at a different complete address on the other side of town.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the deal is. So the meter or the batteries and stuff aren't actually bad. It's just, it's got the wrong numbers and it's not communicating. So therefore, it's trying to read this house when it's actually over here.
If mine was reading my neighbors, how would I even know?
Right, that's where it comes on us, and it'll tell you, like, it's just, this one, so this box, the antenna isn't registered to this meter, so those 2 numbers aren't meeting up. So it's actually trying to read the meter next door. Well, when you look up where this meter number is, it'll tell you the address that it's actually at. So it's like, how did we end up duplicating the number somewhere else or getting it switched up? It didn't quite make
But it won't read it in such a manner that it's gonna mess up someone's bill, correct?
Right, no, it won't read it at all, it just
That's what I
tells you it's
thought,
not
okay.
communicating because the two numbers aren't paired together, they have to be connected together to work.
So that's probably listed at 189.
Yeah,
Is there
that's,
something on the bill that states that it was estimated for that
We
month?
got an E.
It's got an E?
By the readings, you see a little small E, that means it's estimated.
And then how many total? What do we got, about 300 meters?
Where-
About 1,000. Over 1,000?
yeah.
Where were
About
we,
1,000 households.
Oh,
where were we before we went to this system? It was sold to us as a, you know,
Yeah.
a great thing. Where were we before? I mean, as far as manpower and reading meters, how did
they
that?
took,
It was 2 guys, 2 days.
Yeah, 2
They
guys, 2
manually
days.
read every one of them.
2 guys, 2 days, a month.
Yes, and that was just to read. Now then you had a day or two, give or take, depending on how many rereads or high high bill, however you want to.
And then you had to key it as well, right?
Yeah, you
Just-
walk around with a handheld,
Just-
and you walk to each one, open it, you type the numbers in, close it, you go to the next one, and we split
Just
it up.
seems like we're not saving any money and it's a whole lot more complicated than what than almost having it, you know?
I could see that, but it is more efficient,
if we get the system going.
I mean, right now, you're still ahead, you're only looking at 187 of them. Compared to, like you said, there's like 1,000 or 1,100, whatever it is that we actually have.
1,096.
1,096. So, I mean, it's more efficient because we don't have 2 guys wrapped up for 16 hours each, reading the meters, and then, like I say, you could have the
It
guys
just-
wrapped up another day.
It just, it caused a lot of headache for the people in town.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's,
If it is actually working, the good news is like your toilet's running or something, Casey can see that, call you. and
Oh,
say,
yeah.
The thing is
Yeah.
showing your water's running continuously.
That's true.
So like that, up there when that froze,
Yeah.
we could have seen that if it's a meter.
I got you.
Right. Because she called you when you watered your lawn.
Yeah, I was watering my yard, and she thought I had a bad toilet and stuff.
Well, that's cool.
so that's where we're at. with computers. Unfortunately, it's not a good update, nothing got that. I mean, we did get the
There's
meter
always next
installed,
time.
we got that, so it should read right now, once we get it installed. We
Just need the cold snap to go away and get that shit.
Yeah, if we can get that to go away and have, a week of good weather, we could start knocking some out.
And it says like 63 days till spring or something.
Yeah,
It's
so
supposed to
that's-
drop cold again.
I know, so,
Nothing works in the cold.
no.
Anybody got anything for fairs or festivals? Alright, old business is done. Brings us to new business, discussion, consideration, possible action regarding declaration of surplus property. We saw the list of proposals. I did have a couple of questions, I know when you and I were down there, we were missing one of the forks for the Bobcat, I believe.
It
And
was
if I
found.
understand how that fast, you found it?
I found it.
Oh,
We're
In
good.
the weeds?
We found it, it was tucked underneath the trailers, it somehow crawled up underneath there and forgot how to get out, so we found it. We're good on the forks.
How high is that? That's not a forklift though, that doesn't go very high, does it? Do we have a forklift? So, yeah, why do we need a man basket then,
I thought it was for like working on these lights out here and for putting those banners and stuff up.
right? But
We
but
did
that
one time.
will that go high enough for that?
It will, it's maxed out, usually you got to stand on the rail, that's on that, the first ring, that's on that. Usually you got to stand on that to.
That's what they show you in the OSHA video.
Yeah, right.
Yes, that's a prime example of OSHA.
Yeah, we did that too, that's still safer than being on a ladder.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I
better than how they changed that light out here, at the crossing that can pick up truck on top of a step ladder. So, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know about getting rid of that, there might be a time to
that's perfectly fine. That's why I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention to see what you do and do not want to keep and establish.
What's a sludge tank?
All right, so it's 150 gallons. They bought it When they sold the old sludge truck, that's what we used to suck all the sludge out at the plant and then apply it to the land. That old truck went down, the tank was failing, they got rid of it, and they ordered this tank that was supposed to be what they needed. That was the new updated version. Well, they got it, we started using it, and it wasn't what we needed. Then they sent some adapters, we had to buy some adapters to put on there to make it do the right job. It still wasn't doing it. It's not applying it. It's not a pressured system externally, bringing it from inside out. It's not pressurizing it the right way or anything like that. So it's never been used, and you guys were having a company come in to empty the sludge out at whatever the price was. So it's been sitting down there forever, and it's not what we need. It's for
Then we
porta
get the
pots. It's to
reset.
suck porta pots out and empty. That's what
Yeah,
that's
with
all
totally
about.
obsolete, right?
It's a paperweight.
Yeah, that one gives me no heartburn at all.
The blade for the tractor, will it fit anything else?
No, that's a 3-point hookup.
Oh, for the back.
Yeah, that's for that. Unless you guys wanted us to cut it up and try to make it fit the front of a skid loader, we could try it. But then again, they make attachments for skid loaders that are designed just for that, and it's hydraulic to where you can change the position, to where this one's a manual, pull the pin and go.
What about the Ford Ranger? How many miles that got?
The miles, I don't have the miles on that one.
Something like that.
What's that?
107, 110, something like that.
That's all.
Yeah, they don't have very many miles on it, but it is pretty well rusted out. as well.
GoPro put half of those on it.
The transmission's out of it, an obsolete transmission, so you have to get a reman one. And those are price range in between like 35 to 4,200 for the transmission. So it's like,
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
again, is the truck worth putting the
No.
money into or not? Kind of,
That,
I don't know, I've got different opinions on like, why did we have that little of a truck that we can't use as a backup for anything? Like if we were to have another truck, we should have one that's capable of doing everything that the other trucks should do, so we have a backup at all times.
and this number 7, is that a horse-drawn plow?
No, it's actually currently on the front of one of our trucks. It is.
Can we call it a western plow, cause?
That's the brand, it's a Western.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So it's currently working to an extent. We did not use it this snow go-round. The mechanic worked on it to get it to go. He put some different fluid in there, low viscosity fluid in there to make it actually work correctly. But sometimes it'll go to the right, but it will not come back.
So, but that's just the cylinders, right? You can replace those cylinders.
It was the whole pump system in it, and I think he said that was like half the price of what the blade was worth, or it's worth. We've had the blade since probably like 2010, because it was here before I wasn't the first time, which I came here in 13, and it was on an 08, so it may be as old as a 2008.
Is it all rusted out or bad?
It is
bad
rusting
shape?
pretty good.
I mean,
The
like,
mounts on it have been twisted,
mhm.
and we had to use a sledgehammer.
Isn't that the one that's out here tonight?
No, it's actually, it's down at the plant. It would be the one I dug out of the weeds last meeting. It was the last one that we was able to get out. I think that's why it was probably left down in the weeds. Like I was telling Mary, you can run into a pile as you're pushing. You may have it kick to the right, but if it's heavier on the left, it just goes on its own. There's no resistance to it. Like I say, you're looking at hoses, cylinders, pump. I mean, there's a number of things. I do believe we've definitely got it to life expectancy. Yeah. For sure. But that was something I wanted to bring to your guys' attention as well. If you wanted to sell it, that's fine. If not, that's great. We can put money into it. I was just trying to weigh our best abilities here and let you guys know. That way it's not, why did he do it this way? It's going to be a group deal. Like I want to bring all this stuff to you guys so you guys can put your
Yeah.
input on it as well. Because I think it's a
But
team
that's-
effort.
Yeah, it's your job, man.
So, it's kind of where we're at on the Western plow.
What is a vest topper?
So there's it just sits on the top of your desk. I didn't know what to call it. It just has like extra shelves in there.
Oh,
They're just
wicked.
piled up in the garage down there. I don't know if it's something we could burn or if we needed to surplus it or I wasn't just about to just make it disappear and then somebody like, hey, where'd those go? That's just other stuff we got sitting around down there that,
No pictures of it.
there was, yeah, I don't have any pictures of that. They were packed, it's like, it's covered in stuff in the shop.
No, it can't be nice.
I don't know, I just looked at the shop and was like, well, there's no point in having them, you know.
That brush hog will work behind any tractor, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're working behind any tractor.
Do we ever do we have a need for a brush hog?
Yes, but we have a brush hog for our skid loader. That was recently purchased a couple years ago. I used it, it works.
How interchangeable are those? I mean, the one we have now is a Bobcat, if we get a Kubota, is that gonna work with it?
Yeah, everything should hook up the same. It shouldn't be, I don't think it's, I was looking on their website or looking at one like that, because there's no name brand on this brush hog, I will tell you that. This brush hog was purchased for less than $2,200, so it's a cheaper one, I will tell you that. And it's not designed to mow great big stuff, but I mean, it's something to knock the weeds down. But it was showing it would do like John Deere, Kubota, Bobcat, Takeuchi, Gale, and Case, I think. So I think all the parts are pretty well interchangeable, like for the forks and stuff like that, that's interchangeable. If not, it's just making your slot a little different on the backing plate, which isn't too difficult for your pins to drop through. So that's something we can run with this brush hog for a while. It's kind of one of the throwaway ones. I don't know if you guys ever get on Equip Bid or anything like that. They usually sell for pretty cheap. They're cheap stuff. They just designed to run for a season or two, throw it away, get another one. That's kind of the idea behind those brush hogs. I think in the future it's something we should check into getting an actual good quality one, since we do have a couple outlying areas that are 22 acres or something like that behind the park. And
I mean, it seems like a skid loader is a little less efficient than a tractor and a brush hog, is that,
I think the skid loader is a little bit better.
do you?
Because it's out in front of you, so you can get up underneath the trees, and if you get the right brush hog, you can also eliminate trees. There's some designed to run all the way up to a 4-inch tree, it'll chew it up. And you can actually get up underneath things and a little bit closer. And all your work is out in front of you, so you can actually see what's going on. It's not as long as a tractor by the time you have it all hooked up. Plus, you know, when you're out brush hogging, you always find stumps or something like that laying out. You already have your skid loader there, you can unattach, hook to your forks or your bucket, move the items into a pile, and then hook right back up and continue on. Okay. So that's just my opinion, how everybody can, you know.
How would they go about selling it?
We can list it on our website. One thing I would like to do on this though, because I think at least to start with and see if you get any hits, is put like $100 reserve price on it. Just because otherwise somebody comes, I'll give you $5.
Yeah, right.
Well, we didn't say we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and have you already checked to see what most of that's worth?
On the plows and stuff, they're going, like you said, in between your $100 to $300, depending on what it is. For the shape that it's in, I think the plow or the brush hog on a good day may sell for $300, $350. I mean, that's a good day. I'm trying to think. Your tank, your sledge tank's probably going to be your best selling item. I mean, honestly, that's if you find the right person. I'm going to assume they probably give $3,000 or $4,000 for it, maybe. I mean, I know that sounds low for what it is, but I mean, you got to find the right person that's wanting to bid on that. Your Ranger, I don't know about your Ranger. That could be
That may go with Crusher.
that may be a gold mine. Somebody may be looking for it.
Because I mean, you could, I could see if you had a kid just going over to the salvage yard, buy an engine transmission, just pulling it out and put the new one in there.
Right.
It's an 18-year-old vehicle, so you're not going to last forever.
You know, the tiller will probably sell pretty good. That may be a $2,500 to $3,000 item too. I don't even remember what they paid for it, to be honest with you, but it's a pretty heavy duty one. But there's no use for it. I mean, I'm not opposed to let it sit there. If that's what you guys want to do, that's perfectly fine too. It's just one of those items that's like, if we can get some money out of it, we might as well try and get some money and move that money
Yep.
to get us something else, or, to help establish on something.
Yeah, with the exception of the desktop, which I have no idea, that one might be 50 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's-
I don't know, that may be something JD got and took down the car, I don't know.
Maybe, so,
I don't remember
that's
us ever
something-
taking anything down that does
We could
price.
just smash it up and burn it. I mean,
It's nothing more than an organizer, right?
right, yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's,
Kind of like this thing.
it's a wooden one, like when you have a regular desk and then you want a top one that's got.
Kind of like.
Kinda like what's on your desk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just an organizer.
It's got doors on it to set books.
Yeah,
in.
the doors.
It don't have the doors on it, but I mean.
Kind of like what's on your desk in your office, the cabinet doors.
It's something like that.
And that sickle, what did that hook to?
That was too John Deere.
Yeah, the old John Deere, I was like, that's been here since the Mayflower struck Earth.
Yeah, it's old.
So,
What is that,
yeah.
what does that Western blade sell for new?
All right, well, for a new one, they're about 70. So a new Western is going to be 8214. $8,214.
Because, I mean, I don't know, I've done quite a bit of welding and work on those, and it looks pretty, don't look too bad compared to what I was fixing.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if we're talking pumps,
Yeah, we're talking
Exactly how
definitely
much-
pumps and
how much?
hydraulics. Two cylinders running side to
Yeah.
side. It does have new cutting edge on it.
Mhm.
But then your next problem is going back to where it actually slides into the pockets on the truck itself. So the mechanic was able to get it up against there and then beat on it with a sledgehammer to get it to kind of bend back and slide in and then lock forward. And then we just permanently bolted it on there because the locks aren't wanting to stay anymore. They're missing springs out of them and locking pins. So they got a couple of bolts stuck in there to hold it on there. That's for a safety net.
So that the frame of it on the plow itself.
Yeah, yeah.
what? Yeah, I fixed all that stuff before, I mean, is it not worth?
That's
the
what
time?
he, that's
saying
what
it's
he
not
said.
worth it.
Yeah.
Would that be since we have another, I mean, we have two of these, right, don't we?
What's that?
We have two of these, don't we?
We have two Boss plows and one Western.
Oh, okay, the other two are Boss.
Yeah, the other two are Boss.
I was just wondering if you could swap, one of those other blades, you hit a curve or something, then
Right.
could you swap this one in?
No,
Use the
this-
hydraulics on the other one.
This one's kind of the odd duck. So that's what kind of brings up to the reasoning behind another plow. If we were to decide to go with another plow, what we would do is buy another Boss. And I would like to try the V plow due to the simple fact, like Main Street and cul-de-sacs, you can scoop it rather than just push it off to one side. That'd be easier in your cul-de-sacs and down here on Main Street. The nice thing about that is the Boss V plow is capable to go to any one of our trucks because it has the Boss hookups. It still runs the same plugs, same wiring harness. You just swap your remote and the actual plow itself. That's the only difference on Boss. So therefore, the majority of our parts could all be interchangeable in the same parts for the most part, except for your cutting edges when it comes to a V plow. But if you don't want to do a V plow, I totally understand that because they're a little bit more. So you can always just run like another 8.6 or an 8-foot blade and then run it that way. And then they'd all be Boss. And like I said, you keep all your equipment the same. Your majority of your parts are going to interchange, which kind of helps eliminate on overheads and keeping stuff in stock and keeping stuff in line.
Any other questions?
So with exception of, I guess, it sounded like the man basket, Keith, and see what we end up with. Is there anything else that, like to hang on to and get more information?
I'd kinda like to look at that plow, unless you're wanting to buy one right now. I mean, what'd you say you could get out of it?
I don't know what we could get out of it. What they're going for new is 8,200.
Yeah, you might, I'd like to see what, I'd like to know what you could get out of it, and I'd kinda like to see it.
Okay.
So items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10, we would be all right with listing those. And with the exception of 9, which is the desktop, would you be okay with a $100 reserve on that?
Sure, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
So, not to put words in anybody's mouth, but is there a motion that sounds like we list items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 with a $100 reserve?
Yes.
And is there a second for that motion that sounds like that?
Second.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Give me those numbers again, Mayor, please.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10.
Let me look at that again, hang on.
2, 7, and 9 are the
One,
ones that could have been
three,
exception. We could have just said the
right.
whole list except for 2, 7, and 9.
Right.
Make it as complicated as possible.
Wait, was 7 a keeper or go?
7, we're gonna, I wanted to look at
Yeah,
that.
7's a keeper,
Seven.
sorry.
You said.
My bad.
That's all right.
6, 8, 10.
Well, and with the exception of 3, right? You said that's worth quite a bit.
Right. It could.
If you can get the right
If you
guy.
can get the
But-
right guy.
but
Could we list that on that, you know where we sold those the water park train stuff? There was some.
But see, that's, Purple Rave, there's no reserves.
Oh,
That's the catch to you, there's no reserves on Purple Rave.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We're out there. And
Huh?
that's kind
Yeah.
is that really, I guess, we could put a higher reserve on that, I guess, for what we're doing first.
of. Right.
Otherwise, if you put a $100 reserve on it, and put it on Purple Wave, you're only losing $100.
Yeah. I can see that they're going, like I said, I can see that they're going to put good money on it. I mean, even if we put on Purple Wave, I guarantee you somebody's going to be upping it up, because it's a good thing, it's a good tank, staying still.
What about what about just listing
Yeah.
it for a certain price? Is that something that we can't do?
No, I think we can.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
just,
say.
I have, so many of these things I don't, the ranges are from
It's-
next to nothing, but it's a little bit of something, but unless you're an expert. I was gonna guess some of this makes me feel like people are gonna.
I guess we should go
scrap
on
it
Purple
all
Rave
apart.
instead of paying it ourselves $100.
That way.
Well, I guess, I just look at
You guys are crooked.
I just look at the tractor, and I mean, my God, just the wheels and tires are way more. If somebody wanted to just eat it for parts or something, I mean,
Yeah, I gotta confess, I
you know what I mean? I just,
$100 just
Yeah.
to see what I could do to it.
I don't know. Yeah,
I won't, but
Right.
it's not right for me to take advantage.
but it just seems like, we might be able to have a better way of getting rid of that than, I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm no used car salesman by any stretch.
It's only gonna get worse with this list.
Okay, I guess my other, I'm trying to figure out on new business number 2, what is the difference in it and number 1? Or did we just do that when one was discuss approving the surplus property list?
Yeah,
And then, purchasing status of public works equipment. Okay.
So the one downfall to our snowstorm was our skid loader caught on fire. So So there's more underlying issues with our skid loader. So Jack was using it to load salt and went to load salt with it, and it was trying to die, so we thought it was trying to gel up. So he got it back to the parking lot of the shop, and we put some anti-gel in there, and was letting it set. It quit running. So went down there and it acted like a dead battery, so we replaced the battery. Battery only goes in there one way and only hooks up one way. You can't get it wrong in any way. So in the means of trying to start it with a new battery, it clicked and it caught on fire. Burnt the wires off the starter down, caught the brush on fire that was down in the pan, burnt the insulation on the back door. Not a lot of it, but there's definitely some burning parts in there. So in order to get it fixed, it's $11,000 for the motor, and it's that's not labor. That's just a starter and motor. There was obviously other underlying issues to cause this. When you pull the dipstick out, it's like tar. There was no, for it to be running and then to check it and for it to be stringy and sticky, obviously that's not good. It should have warmed up. It would have cycled the fluid. Kind of like the mayor said, when it did get turned over upside down, rather some damage happened there. At that time when they flipped it over, tried to restart it, bent something, hydro block. Then at that point in time, when you put that kind of money into the unit, you're over your trade-in value. We did get a trade-in value of $10,000 for it when we got a value for the skid loader, the tractor, and the other tractor, and the attachment that goes with it. That is probably no longer standing. That's no standing value anymore. The new value come in at $10,000 for the group of stuff. But if you was to put $11,000 into the skid loader, then you would need a $9,000 on top of it to fix the tracks with the sprockets, the rollers, and we got front idlers that are out of it because it was left with salt packed in the tracks and it just ate away at everything. So you're looking at $20,000 in a machine that's worth 10 when it was running, and now we're down to 10,000 for the skid loader and the two tractors. It was the last offer that was made for
Skid loader's toast.
The good news is we did get our door back. We found our door and got glass put in it. It's no good anymore. It's good, but it's still missing the side glass and stuff in it.
How long we had that skid loader?
2011,
It wasn't new then either, I don't think.
probably wasn't.
It wasn't a new unit when we bought it.
I know that it's on its second, well, that was the second motor that was in it. I know we did have to do an insurance claim on it. My first time here, Jeremiah was unloading the trailer and it fell through the ground and it should have swam. So it messed the motor up, so they put a new motor in it. Now this would be the second motor that it's gone through. You can put a new motor in it, we can run it, but you're still running on all your bad or your older final drives, your pumps, stuff like that. Once again, now you're gonna start looking into blowing hoses left and right. That upkeep, couple cylinders are bent on it. The step, you can't step on the step to get in it, it falls off.
That's a diesel?
Yep, it's a 2011 T650. It's still the hand and foot controls. But it's not an ISO machine, it's not an H pattern, it still has the foot controls down on the floor, and your drive controls.
Uncle Bobcat.
Yeah. So, that unit is down. I did rent one for a week to get us through so we could get salt down and stuff like that. That was $1,300 for the week. That's 7 days. Got to looking at pricing and availability on machines and stuff like that. Your rent for a week is close to your monthly lease for a machine for a 2-year. You can do a 2-year lease if you guys wanted to do it that way. At the end of the 2 years, you can buy it outright, or you could lease it for another 2 years. The way they set it up, most of them, they got it set up to where under 2 year, at the end of the 2 years, you have like 50% of the machine paid down, so you only have to come up with half the price of the machine to finish it out, or like I said, you can lease it in. There was no buyback pricing and your leasing pricing. The truck, the Ford, it is in bad shape. We run it the whole storm. About once every 30 minutes, it will start smoking until the cab, like we got to roll the window down. Don't know what's smoking in there, but it smells like hot glue. We run the beet juice off of a big breaker. That's the only thing that'll run it. They did set the beet juice system up on an extension cord. That is how your beet juice system is run. So just an extension cord. So I'm sure that's what is burning in the cab. The front
Do
left.
we have a 110 like alternator generator type thing going on there, or
They just cut the ends off of it and hooked
DC
it up.
and running through the?
Yeah. So they just kind of stuck it together to make it work and hope it worked. After further investigation, there's boxes of 30 amp switches that they have just burned through and just keep replacing them rather than
Every time you get hot and melting.
then they just pull the switch out, you know. So during the storm, I just put a breaker in there just to eliminate that problem. You can just run it off the breaker. That does get hot as well, obviously. So it's not wired up correctly. So that's a big issue there. But you've got ball joints and hubs going out of the front of it. They're all laid in. None of the gauges work, so you don't know if you got oil pressure, if it's overheating. I don't know my fuel. I don't know how much fuel I got in it. So every 2.5 hours, I run the cases and fill up. The transmission does slip in it. It's hit and miss. So that truck's at the end of its life as well.
What is that?
99 V10.
Was that 350?
Yeah, it's an F-350. So I've done some looking at trucks as well, just to bring up. New trucks are expensive. Probably not in our options. So I was looking at Marketplace, seeing if we could find some used trucks. There's several good deals out there. Everything's under $40,000, and the mileage just kind of varies between like 50,000 to 60-ish, almost 70,000 miles. So
Is there any kind of public works equivalent of where the chief got
I was
the
just-
patrol cars?
Thinking that.
we've looked on there. So the state deals, yes, they had 2 of them. They were from Blue Springs. They are 5.4 liter Tritons, so they're even smaller. They're the same motor that's in a half-ton pickup. They were 250s. They're a notorious problem. The 5-foot Triton is. There's a lot of problems with that motor. And they were over 100,000 miles. I mean, they're pretty much well wore out as well, coming from Blue Springs.
Anything we can buy with a standard shift?
You could go to Cummins and it has to be like a 17 or older, and it would be, I mean, you're looking.
At least you wouldn't have transmission problems, and that's half the price of the truck.
Right.
And no matter who you drove it, the worst thing you could have to go out of it's a clutch.
Yep.
So that's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah, your newer stuff, nothing comes manual. It's all automatic anymore. That's your deal. Like I said, I got from a 2017 to a 2021 pickup, just in price range from 37,000, 35,000, 36,000, 29,000, 35,000, 32,000. Most of them are F-250, so they're still a 3/4 ton. It's not a 1 ton per se, but one of them has like airbags and stuff like that already under the rear, which would be a benefit to us. Then for all we have to do is buy a plow to put on it, and we could run it that way. Your plow, if we went with a Boss, your cheapest route would be like 30, or it'd be $7,500 for everything. That's not installed. We have our mechanic install it, or you could go up to like $8,800, $8,810 for a V plow style, which would be new. And of course, we'd have our guy install that, and then you'd have your wiring harness and your mount kit for the other Dodge, so we could take the plow off of that truck and move to the other Dodge, and then keep that older equipment with the older truck, so when time comes and we decide to rotate out, you can just move everything at once. So if we were to purchase a truck, we'd purchase a plow and put those together. We know those two are newer and new, and we run that setup, and so on and so forth. So price, it was there, so that's kind of,
It sounds very promising.
No, I mean, one of the things, and Kyle and I spoke earlier, about grouping work and then renting it for a week, because you know you're gonna need the Bobcat for a week or what have you, clustering those jobs and doing it. My concern is looking right now, water sewer has got 49,000 in that account, and the street fund's got 57. And if we're looking with what we're wanting to do at the wastewater treatment plant, that's gonna encumber, depending on how we do that, that could
Yeah.
encumber that wastewater, revenue. So it's gonna get tricky finding how you're gonna get a loan. So, I mean, I know ideally emergencies do happen, but, you know, I think if we need it, we can, like Blue Springs Rental, do they have a 24-hour line?
I don't think so. We went through Oak Grove, they were kind enough, they do deliver it, because obviously we don't have a way to deliver, to pick it up ourselves right now, because salt spreaders are loaded up, we don't have a way to unload the salt spreaders to get the truck capable of pull trailer.
What's that lease cost?
The lease, so here's your options on your leases. That's just one there, so.
The problem with the lease is gonna be that it's gonna encumber that revenue stream
Yeah.
for 2 years, versus the other, if you need it. We can, I'm pretty comfortable we can put our hands on $1,500 if we need something for a week. Just if we,
Those are two different ones. So this is, that's your outright price.
Yeah.
You're gonna get quotes.
Use all the time.
1,200 hours, 900 hours.
Use it for their own time.
not only, but they need, I mean, it's gonna snow, they need to load the salt on the truck. But we generally go with the storm from Southpaw, so you get it out.
So that was the first one that they sent me. That's got the trade-ins on it. This is the other one that they sent me.
Make sure the assumption is, well, of course, it's totally hating the reason we did that rate, but, with the rate increase, once we start seeing
That's the outright price.
additional revenue, we might be away. So it's right.
That's fine.
That's gonna
Yeah, here.
cover your lease, the other $500 something thousand dollars that the ARPA money doesn't. pay.
Different lease, and this is your.
Well, so, did
Yeah.
everything in this.
Embarrassing. We need one.
That's just.
I know they had caught
I
fire.
got to look at those.
One was the actual diagnosis of the motor.
We don't know if it has, I think it was, on the Bobcat, like it had tarry oil, and it was.
Yeah.
But it was not, whether it was seizing or not, I think was that one.
Right, there's obviously an underlying issue of why it done that, not I think is it was trying to seize up while it was running it. And then when we went to start it, after it sat there and cooled down for just a minute and go to hit it, it was just a load under the starter where the starter couldn't turn.
Shouldn't we at least hold hand and check some things out?
That's why we had Andrew look at it, or mechanic, I had him get with me.
And what did he do to look at it though, other than?
He was to pull the cover off the side of it
Uh-huh.
and then try to turn the flywheel. That's what he was gonna do. So, that will be, we can do further investigation on it for certain. But that's what he worked on before, and that was his
Expertise?
expertise.
Okay. Sorry for all the questions.
No, you're fine. Try to answer them as best as I can, because once it happened, I did contact him to talk to him about the issue. And then he was down there before to look at the tracks as well, and that was the biggest issue at that point in time that we were concerned about.
I think the good part is that tonight you don't have to decide. You got some data there to process. I think that we got some information on the truck. I mean, it sounds like, again, we only have what we have, but the good news is, or dues, on the Bobcat is that you can rent that in pieces as needed. The truck is not gonna, I mean, you're gonna have to lease that or buy that. And then the plow.
And like I say, it's something if we can get that thing to turn over and mess with it, and then if you guys are fine with putting a couple bucks in it to get a starter, and we try to fix what we have going on to see if we can't get it by, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like I said, it's not, I'm not set on one way or the other, I'm just bringing everything up to you guys, so
Right.
you guys are aware, just like we are, I mean, of our situation. There's,
Yeah, there's a certain point where you don't wanna
right.
throw money in it's bad, but there's also a certain amount that you have to put in to make sure you got what you think you
Right,
have.
exactly.
So,
But like telling the mayor, the screen, it did mess up when it done that. So now our screen, we can't read our screen very well. It's like your television, when the center section of it goes out, you don't know what's there. So that is also tied in with the electrical issue, so.
The other thing, because I remember how I was gonna try and make this work so we don't encumber that, was I've gotta get the financing through Fund 20, because we do have excess revenue in that account. And then that would leave that water sewer money unencumbered.
The long range forecast, as far as snow, we're probably gonna be good till at least the middle of February, and they said more snow falls in February here than the other month.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, we already had the big surprise.
I think they run for a dollar. Didn't the park board need us guys?
Yeah, no, and I guess that would be the park board, on that excess equipment, do we know on the insurance on that, Ranger or whatever?
I have not heard back from them yet. They sent the adjuster out a couple weeks ago. He came out and looked at it. We hauled it back down to Public Works. Now it's sitting down in Public Works. I haven't got anything yet from them about it.
Because that'd be the other thing, if we were listing stuff. I mean, that would be for the park board, I guess, let them decide what they want to do, but it doesn't, I mean, it sounds like
Let's just
scrap
scrap
metal.
that one.
Well, that changes things. Isn't there anything else we can sell?
You gotta spend divvy.
We also gotta come up with some money for Echo Ridge. We got.
Oh, yeah.
Got a pump
The
down
pump.
up there.
Not again.
Well, we never got the other one fixed because it's $9,000 every time. We got a price through a company, FTC. They've dealt with Fort Osage High School and a bunch of other cities. We are just running on the one pump. Talked to them to retrofit the entire thing, just shy of 70,000. To get us a temporary setup, it's like 7,700, and they can get a pump there and the VFD board and everything like that. That way it's on-
700 or something?
Yeah, 7,700.
Okay, just want to make sure.
There is a monthly
Where'd that
fee
go?
of $1,200 a month for renting parts and pieces of it. But if we agree and give them a PO for say, that we will go with them for the full retrofitting of the deal, there will not be a fee of renting.
But the retro fee was 70,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, a total of it's like
What
68,000.
we get now, there's what, like 2 years out of this?
About a year.
Well, according to Bob Summers, who's the expert, and he said that these are cheap pumps, and that's why I keep on going through them so much every year. And that's why these other FTCs are better pumps.
$68,866 is what it would be to do a complete retrofit.
Yeah, so the sewer fund does not have that.
68,000.
ARPA money.
So that's, that was something else I wanted to bring to your all's attention as well, while we're all on the talk of bad news. But the good news
Yeah,
is.
that's 70, because right now, we don't have a backup, right? If that goes down,
Right.
we're
That's it.
literally a trap creek.
But FTC will come in for that 70,700, put the backup in it.
Yeah, the 7,700. They would do it, it'd take them about a week. That's about as fast as they could.
So for 7,000, $8,000 basically, but then we have to commit to the 70,000 down the road.
The $68,886.
Or we keep whizzing away $9,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But at this
But if
point,
you
we
don't have
don't have.
70,000, you
At this point with our sewer plant, we probably don't have a choice, do we?
Looks like we're gonna spend another $9,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I almost think we,
Just gotta
if
do
you
it.
get everything for the next meeting, get that together, because
For the other pump.
for the 9,000, I mean.
The one that's
which
cheap.
That's what we've done, right? But the other pump, it's just waiting for the approval for that.
Because it's actually out of Lance Pumps, and they're just waiting for us to tell them, yeah, you're
We had-
ready to get it fixed.
We had somebody weld something on the last one.
So you want to do that? So you want to do it?
And listen, I had done that kind of work before, and I didn't, rather than buy one, and it was like a flange, and I just really didn't agree with fixing that. I didn't think that it would hold up, but they welded it and put it all back together. I'd like to know if that's what's broke on this one, because if it is, there's a problem.
Right. Yeah,
I
can
mean,
find out what they're doing and see if
I got a lot of expertise in that kind of.
But they already fixed it, right? It's just.
No, it's,
Oh,
it's
not
waiting for
fixed.
us, it's waiting for us to tell them, yes.
I'd like
fix
to
it.
know what's broken.
You wanna take a crack at it?
No, no, but I'm saying rather than we had a chance of buying a new part for it versus welding it.
Right.
And I'm saying we might be better off putting a new part in it than welding it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, if they can maybe shoot us something that tells us what the problem is and what they're planning to do about it,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then we can. But I really don't want our friends on Echo Ridge.
No.
Having a rain week.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want my neighbors coming.
Right, yeah.
You hand them a shovel.
Yeah.
In the past, we just had a truck go over there and empty that, right? If we needed, if they go down and say we're out.
Well,
Haven't we had a truck go back there and do that before?
Yeah. And lucky for us, I mean, this is not the best ideal situation, but those pumps that's loaded in any house basement, so when it does overflow, it overflows out of the pump and goes down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't
Come
back
up in your
up
basement.
people's yards,
So you're saying trap runs down?
not for a while.
Yeah.
I guess it is true.
Is there a storage? I mean, is there a little bit of a storage?
Yeah, it's
area?
got a story, you know, I mean, it's got a
It's
pit in it.
I mean,
It's a
it's-
pit, like,
And it fills up
But it's
and
not-
it gets so high, it pumps it out.
okay.
So you do
How-
got
how-
some storage capacity, I can tell you how much.
And how many times did it pump? It pumps it?
Just depends on the usage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, is it like
Yeah.
every day, every hour?
Oh, hourly?
Yeah, hourly.
Hourly?
I mean, I'm sure when nobody's using anything, then it doesn't pump at all.
Because at one time, I thought JD was having them go by every day and look at that, because how do you know otherwise until somebody says, hey, it's running out the
Yeah,
overflow,
exactly.
and you don't know that
Yeah.
it's not good.
Yeah, it gets checked every day.
That's what the,
I mean, all the choices you've given us tonight, the 9,000, I don't, like, the pump isn't my favorite, but it will be when, if we think people were hollering when the water's out. We
Yeah,
have the sewers out.
yeah. Well, like I say, that's why I wanted to bring everything up. I know it's not good, but hey, here it is, you know. This is the underlying issues that we're running across and discovering we need to address.
Speaking of waters out, quick off topic, I saw something about low water pressure the other night somewhere.
Well, I saw that too, but
There's just one house and.
How's that it?
I went up there and talked to them to come find out, their bathtub had great pressure and their kitchen sink didn't, so they learned they could take the screen off and clean it out.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Broke out that. Yeah, there's just one house. I made contact with them and talked to them. They're super nice. Got it all.
So what do you want to
So
do on that?
do we need a motion to fix that pump now then?
No, let's get the information and make sure that
Okay.
we can do it at the next meeting, but, because we don't have, let's find
Oh,
out.
that's true. What's the
Mr. Wolcott's
problem with
to
it?
the point, let's make sure and see what's broken and what they're proposing that they're gonna fix. And I mean, I don't know what they're gonna tell us, it's gonna change their mind, but let's make
Right.
sure that there's not something there that we're missing.
Right.
It's missing a screw.
And it's got screws.
Kind of one of the, the truck thing too, I was informed that we can take that money out of the streets because that has a reoccurring deal and I think it's like 30,000 a month from understanding is what it reoccurs.
On the street fund, yeah, but the other thing is if we wanna surface any streets this year, we can't be
Yeah.
But we
Yeah, I
gotta be
was
very
just,
judicious on that.
just so you guys
Yeah.
had an idea, wasn't sure where you guys were on that.
Yeah, no, I figured both the street and water sewer because they use them kind of in there, but yeah, but both of them, to do a street is 100 plus thousand.
Right.
On average. So if we save all of our nickels each fall and spring, then we have enough in the summer to fix the street.
What's our next phase on that, those streets? Is there one?
That's, that'd be something Kyle be working on. until-
There's one.
I have not got that far. I haven't looked at potholes. I haven't.
No, I'm not talking about potholes.
Right,
You
well,
know,
that's
we
what I'm
did-
just
Right, we
saying.
did Jefferson, we did
Yeah, all
South
the
Hudson,
phases.
we've done South Central.
And Park.
And we've done Park.
Yeah, other phases
Up to-
done that we did a couple of years ago that we had a list for, now it's just time to make it a new list.
Okay. Did you park up the Veterans Avenue, or did we go all the way down to the stop sign?
You
Look at the stop sign.
stopped to the stop sign.
Okay.
Didn't go down the hill and up to the.
Right.
And then the park got to be done.
Yeah.
Veterans Way and Steiner Drive.
Yep, in your travels, you might make up a map on the worst ones you see,
Yeah.
but that might be kind of hard to all the snow melt.
Yeah, well,
They
while I
all
was
look
driving
good.
around, I was like, yeah, we can make a list here and think of which ones are the worst, but,
Yeah.
you know, when it's just packed with snow, I
Right,
can't
yeah, it's
tell.
tough.
I mean, to certain people's point, Hazel is bad, but, you know, you gotta, you gotta
But
think,
8 cars a day drive on it.
that's my point, you gotta,
What is it?
The traffic is not that high.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's
you
not
got-
even a one-way, it's not a through street, it's, you gotta come back out, so.
I mean, county twice. So 16 cars.
I think the worst one, just like right off the top of my head, is probably Adams back over there with them duplexes and stuff. That's pretty rough.
It's not, but yeah, and he's kind of complained about that too.
Yeah.
That's
kind of
the funeral home, is that
No.
That's part of it,
It's,
yeah. That's
if you
part
go,
of it.
if you go around the corner and then turn right there for the, but a lot of that is from them cutting the street for the plumbing.
Mhm.
So-
It's awful. I don't know, when they filled that in, it's just like speed bumps.
Yeah, and I don't think it's very good base down there anyways. It's always wet.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
just a rough part.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
because
you
it's
probably
only
know that
we
from
don't have
plowing.
something
Yeah.
up there.
So I mean, that's kind of that'd be one of them that's kind of on the list, like Adams, and then right there by the funeral home because it holds water right there by the one house. I mean, it's pretty rough right through there. That'd be a good one to start and maybe shoot up Zoe and hit that one as well while you're there because it's not great, but
We've done wards 1 and 3. Ward 2, I don't think has had much work.
That'd be
done,
Adams, yeah.
So that'd be Adams,
Yeah.
to give them their turn.
Yeah, you might look at that Hazel and see what that's like as far as patching it. You might, and basically that's kind of what we're looking at, what, the difference between, is it worth patching?
right.
And if it's not worth patching, then that's probably a candidate.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let the officials comments.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you mentioned that Adams, there's an issue with some plumbing or sewer problems in behind there over at Adams, behind the duplex.
Right.
That would get resolved.
Yep.
Did
They
it?
replaced the sewer line all the way out to the road, did clean outs, and they dug out where that sewer was sitting at, they put ash down, and then they covered back up with.
Who did that?
The homeowner did it.
Really?
I mean, the owners of the,
Yeah, the owner of the duplex.
yeah, duplex, they hired a company to do it, I don't know which company it was.
That's fine. I was just hit me.
Yeah, because we made it inhabitable, and we condemned those duplexes until he got the work done, that's what sped it up.
Okay, thank you.
I have a few things. Did we move these desks?
Huh?
Not yet.
Can't you tell?
Yeah, that'll be done tomorrow. We're gonna do that. I think it would behoove us to have a phone list, all the aldermen have everyone's phone number, because we don't. If we have like a phone list for everyone.
I had to.
You have everybody's phone number.
I could give you one, I got one on my wall.
Yeah, that'd be.
Can you
that'd be
install it
good.
in my phone for me?
Everybody texts everybody.
Yeah, everybody takes it.
How long has Diamond Computers been doing our stuff now? Over a year?
What was the question?
How long has Diamond Computers been doing our?
Yeah, it's over a year, maybe it's gone on 2
Okay,
years.
it's been over a year and we still don't have a new website.
No, but that had nothing to do with the website.
So do we need to find somebody to do that?
Yeah, the website is, we hire Zen Group out of Oakland Park. They're the one that maintains and designs our website, hosts it. And they charge us $75 a month.
That's-
And I have been in contact with other companies that do that website too, and they have offered to create our new website for us.
Okay. I just
Yeah,
don't-
Diamond does not do that.
Okay, because ours is horrible.
Would it be feasible to, like, I don't know if there's any computer classes at the high school or something where maybe the class would want to design or monitor, put
Yeah, I'm
that,
sure.
put that together for us?
I'm sure they got computer classes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough about that to
And that's the bad thing, like I said, right now we use Zen, and anytime it changes, I got to email them the changes to do to our website, and then they got to do the changes. We don't have access to our own website.
I think I know a guy, but I don't know if he can do it with his cane in one hand.
So if you guys can look at the website, I can look at, like I say, we contact the
Okay.
school. Like, I had a couple companies, they call me and email me every month, 'cause they do, like, Great Valley's Oak Grove,
Yeah.
they do professionally.
And what they tell you, $75 a month?
Well, that's what we pay Zen.
Oh, that's what they pay you.
But they're also hosting it.
That's just the hosting it. Like I said, we have no access to it. Any kind of changes that gets done to our website, I literally have to email them and say, hey, can you add this to it? Can you add this?
Okay.
Take this off, change this.
Because
Yeah.
I can see the Diamond people not wanting it hosted on any of our devices.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, you can go purchase a domain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, put it wherever. So I don't think the hosting part's the hard part.
No, I was just thinking, somebody's gonna charge you one way, I was just trying to have it, if we hired this high school to do it,
Yeah,
that we're, there's still gonna be some expense,
Yeah.
even if they did it just for the experience, but I'm not
We'll just-
against it.
right, yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
we have the high school kids design it, we still have to have somebody to maintain it, so whatever needs to change, so. The only other thing I had was, and I talked to you about this probably last year, I talked to Joe about it a week or two ago, is that cleaning up the walls out front by where we have all the junk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually did check into
The
that.
the front of City Hall looks like a cork board of Casey's. Mow your lawn and this, that, and the other. We need some glass cases out there that nobody has access to except us. And, the ordinances or whatever that we have to put in there, fine. But if you want to put I'll mow your grass or whatever, fix, we'll put that in there for a week and then it's coming out. That stuff's been up there forever. It just looks
That
trashy.
missing dog has been missing for like 3 years.
Yeah, right. It's just trashy. It's not maintained.
I actually looked it up, and I was gonna buy one next week. Office Depot's got a 48 by 36 glass enclosure, locks on it, 2 doors, corkboard,
Yeah.
for $500. And I was gonna get it installed and just have one.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
So you were reading his mind.
Yeah, well, that's it is. But yeah, it's like I said, they got an Office Depot for $500. And then I
Was
went
Amazon
slack,
that much
I got
cheaper?
slack from a certain employee, which was, well, that's a community board, the community should be able to put stuff up there. It's like, no,
No,
it
it's
looks
not.
like this.
That's not a community board.
So
That's a city hall.
I let them know it's gonna be locked
Depends on how
up.
far.
I'm not gonna put advertisements up on it.
Did you, $500 sounds a little steep. Did you look on Amazon for one that's the same size?
I looked on Amazon, I looked at Office Depot, looked at Granger. I did go do some online search shopping, and some of them were up to $1,000.
Oh, yeah, right.
The cheapest one I found was Office Depot so
Okay.
far. And they had one in
Kyle, is that
stock.
anything your brother could make?
Huh?
I don't know. Have to see.
Yeah, for $500.
That would be a good place to start.
That's right. No
Yeah,
tax.
I'm gonna have to reach out to him and see if it's something he'd be interested
I know he's supposed to be a woodworker.
in. He tries.
All right, well, if we got no other comments, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?